Alright, hello and happy Thursday. It's time for another Make It at Home. This week, you can pick up a kit to make your very own heart launcher. You may be asking yourself, what is a heart launcher? It is this little cardboard contraption. So you've got your heart, pull it back, place the heart in here, and let go, and the heart shoots pretty far. So you'll have to take my word for it because I'm not going to go get it. Alright, so in your kit, you've got your directions. You'll have a template. You'll have 3 cardboard pieces of the same size, roughly 4 by 6 inches. You'll have a piece of paper with hearts on it. You will have some cardstock and 2 rubber bands. You will need to provide your own scissors, a pen or pencil, and either tape or glue, or both. So to get started, the first thing you're going to do is cut out your template. So you're going to cut around the outside of the thick lines, and then you're going to cut out the outside. So you've got a hole here where the square is, and you're going to cut off these 2 pieces. So what you wind up with is one of these and one of these. Okay, so you've got your template, and you've got your 3 cardboard pieces. You're going to take one and set it aside. You only need 2 for this next step. So take the first one, and you're going to trace inside the square. And then on the second one, you're going to trace outside of the T. And then you're going to take your scissors and cut these pieces out. You can use scissors, or if you're careful, obviously you can use a box cutter or an X-Acto knife. Scissors work fine. The inner square might be a little tricky, but what you can do is take one blade of the scissors and get it started. You don't have to be super exact with your cuts, but you may have to trim a little bit later. Don't get rid of these, you're going to need those. Alright, so the square in here. And obviously if you're doing your cutting with a box cutter or an X-Acto knife, make sure it's on a surface that you don't mind cutting on. So either another piece of cardboard, or if you have a cutting mat. Just to give a little cushion so you're not scratching the top of whatever surface you're using. And it's okay if you cut this square, you do not need it. And obviously be careful because blades are sharp And we don't want anyone losing fingers. Like I said, it does not have to be pretty. You just need to make sure that this square is cut. All right. So now you've got these pieces and your piece that wasn't cut earlier. You're going to take this blank piece and you're either going to glue or tape the two side pieces down. This is going to create the whole space here. So you can use glue or tape. You want to line it up on the edges as best you can. And obviously you're going to wait for the glue to dry before you continue, but for the sake of time, you're going to take the piece with the hole and turn it so that the short side is at the top of those pieces that you added, and glue that down. And you do absolutely want to set this aside to dry before you start the next step. So I'm going to move this and we're going to bring in the next step that's already been done. So once it is dry, you're going to either use again your box cutter or scissors, and you're going to cut the excess off the top here. So this back piece you're going to cut across this line, and this piece you're going to cut here. So you're going to wind up with a square. And that looks like this. So you'll see that there's a hole here and a hole here. And that is when you take your T-shape piece and you insert it this way, like so. So it fills in that hole, that gap. And you might need to trim the edges a little bit if it doesn't quite line up, to make sure that it moves in and out freely. Okay. And you'll notice on this one that I made, I used some duct tape to keep the edges together. And I also used some for the tip of this T part. It's not necessary. I just did it because it helped keep the pieces moving freely. So you might have to on your own, but probably not. So once you've got this piece in, you're going to take your two rubber bands and you're going to put one here and one here, and these are going to give you the resistance that you need to launch your heart. So your hearts are here on this piece of paper, and then you have your cardstock. So what you can do is you can cut out individual hearts and then glue them to the cardstock, or you can just glue a whole sheet. It's up to you. Glue it wait for it to dry, cut them out. Cut out as many as you like. I actually cut out some earlier, and this is 2 of the red hearts, so 1 on each side, and then another blank heart from just the cardstock inside. So it's 3 layers of cardstock plus 2 layers of regular copy paper, and then I taped it together as well to give it a little more stiffness. So to load your launcher, and it is a little tricky, pull it back enough to get that heart in the square, and then let go. It should fly. So you see this one kind of stuck a little bit, so I might go back and trim the edges just a little bit to make sure it runs a little smoother. This one, you'll see that there's enough gap here. I can actually stick my fingers in, and it launches pretty well. So just experiment. You can also use the scrap cardboard to make hearts. And obviously they don't have to be heart shapes, but Valentine's. So that launches really well. Alright, so there are kits waiting for you in the Yaz. Be sure to come and get one if you'd like. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.